Yo, yo, yo. All right. That works better. Yo, yo, yo. Happy Friday. Sorry about the coughing. I'm never going to get over this flipping chest cold, dude. Hope you guys are doing well. It's good to see everybody. Obviously, we got more Baldur's Gate 3 happening a little bit later, but you know what we got to do, baby. We got to do that video gaming news for today, November 10th, dude. So that's what we're going to pop into in just a moment. Let's see here. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot something really quick. There we go. That looks good. Cool. Hope everybody had a great day yesterday. I had a banger. Baldur's Gate 3 is a lot of fun, dude. I'm loving it. I never want to quit playing that game. It's a lot of flipping fun. Larian nailed it. There's a few issues. CRPGs, especially very large ones, usually have some issues here and there. It's just something you come to expect. But to be fair, as big and awesome as that game feels so far, the issues are really negligible in comparison to how good the game is. So let's do this, dude. Let's get in here. Let's do the news, and then let's go play games. What do you say for this fantastic Friday? Let's go. Let's do it. There we go. Yeah, we knew this was coming. PS5 Slim Bundle with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 available for $500. Don't have to launch Modern Warfare 2 to launch Modern Warfare 3. Great. Why should you? Modern Warfare 3 lets you practice against 31 bots. So instead of being terrible, you can be mostly terrible, because bots in these games traditionally suck. So, but it's something, I guess. Yeah, no, Valve has introduced the Steam Deck OLED. Yeah, I didn't really see that coming. But here we are. Take a look at that. Game reveals are getting frustrating. I would say that game reveals have been frustrating. Take a quick peek and see what they're talking about specifically there. I have my own kind of thoughts on why they're frustrating for me. We talked about that yesterday. Web3 crap. Get wrecked. Looks like Samsung Gaming Hub lets you enjoy games with no sign-in or subscription. Interesting. I'm going to read that real quick. That'll probably change in the future, I would assume. We're finding out now that Google proposed at some point $147 million to Epic to launch Fortnite on the Play Store. Not enough. PlayStation just killed off a huge number of games. We'll see what these are. Call Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 draws harsh reviews after rushed development. Here we are, dude. Another iteration of this, you know what I mean? It's just same crap, dude. Same crap. Roblox CEO hints at adding NFTs to gaming platform. Hold on. I gotta go throw up. Yeah, you can speculate all you want. We don't really know. We won't know for a while until, as far as when the new Mass Effect could come to us. Mass Effect fans are not going to want BioWare to rush this. BioWare is not even really anywhere substantially into the development process of this game, and they will not be until they finish Dragon Age. Was it Dreadwolf? Whatever it's called. So I always want to call it Beowulf. That's not its name. So, you know, if a most modern AAA games take anywhere from 5, 6, 7 years to make, depending on their scale, size, any delays, things like that. You know, they're already early development, probably, you know, take about a year, 2 years off that. So it could be anywhere from, you know, another 3 to 5 years probably after Dragon's Age, I would say, releases. So 2029 is probably late estimate there, but it could be. We talked about this yesterday. What is this saying? Oh, Jesus. Why would you ever have to launch Modern Warfare 2 to launch Modern Warfare 3? Why? What? Why was that even going to be something in the first place? But now you can't launch Warzone without first launching Modern Warfare 3. Bro. Activision Blizzard. That's all I have to say. Day before system requirements revealed. See. Netflix boss addresses gaming struggles. Netflix's video games aren't attracting customers yet. The company is still trying. They would attract a lot more customers if their platform was accessible, more easily accessible. I truly believe that. They've got good games. You can only play their games on the mobile app, though. And that feels terrible. At this point in their venture of trying to get into the gaming industry, you know, they should have been well into at least some kind of beta phase of rolling out Netflix games onto, you know, consoles, Netflix games, which you would still have to sign into your subscription service and everything. But, you know, this is something they desperately need. You can't even play their games on like a desktop app or a browser, you know, through their browser login or anything. It's terrible. You can only access their games through their mobile app. And that, dude, that's not going to cut it for the types of games that they're trying to attract people to. They've got good games on that platform. It feels bad. They would have more people playing, I think, if they were to just flesh out their platform better. Be more accessible. Spider-Man 2 sold over 5 million copies in 11 days. Pretty solid. Here we go. Unity likely to lay off employees to cut costs. Unity's going to die, guys. I've said that since we found out about Unity's, you know, the inception of this entire debacle that they got themselves in with the price changes and stuff. Unity's probably going to die. Bro, I couldn't even log into my Epic Games account this morning, or I couldn't. Like it was like the servers were down. It couldn't connect. That's why I couldn't log in. It kept saying can't connect, can't connect, can't connect, and everything else was fine on my PC. I could connect to everything. Excuse me. Everything else, but Epic Game Store. So I can only assume their servers were down. So, but they are giving away Golden Light for free. Go grab it. It's a no-brainer. RDR2 still selling millions of copies because it's a banger game. And rightfully so. Let's look at our other search. 2023 might be a banner year, but it's the year video games lost its soul. Let's read this. See why they say that. Well, I mean, is this a surprise? Modern Warfare 3 was reportedly developed in just 16 months. Dude, they pop these out every single year. What do you expect? You know? This is why I'm not a big fan of the, you know, Assassin's Creed, you know, Call of Duties, the Pokemons, you know. They all feel rushed. They all feel rushed. Nowadays, anyways. I've talked about that a lot. For these very popular IPs, instead of, you know, being able to generate any kind of substantial gap hype, it's just one after the other, boy. How quickly can we get another one out? And you know that what is sacrificed for quantity is going to be quality. It's always the way it goes. Starfield update somehow made the game worse. Wouldn't be the first time something like that's happened. Upcoming free games. Let's take a peek at this. Oh, you know what I got? I got a... Before I forget, let me bring this up. Bro, why am I tripping on the name of this game right now? There we go. Once Human. I got a so I played the beta of this some time ago. Dude, I don't remember when it was. Was it right at the beginning of this year or end of last year? And I got an email. Yeah, right here. Beta test coming on December 7th. So, we will pull this up and talk about this as we start diving into articles, okay? I really enjoyed the beta that I got into a while back. They had work to do. But for the beta I got into back then, felt pretty good. Yeah. So I was really excited about what else the game could be bringing to the table. The voice acting was atrocious. There were a few bugs and stuff, but I mean, it was a beta. The base building was really cool, but they had some issues with it that needed to be fixed. There's a little bit of stuff that needed to be addressed, but overall, this game has a lot of potential, I felt like. And there's a new beta coming in about a month. So let's talk about that. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. There was basically a something on the PlayStation Store that showed Lego Soccer, and then it got removed fairly quickly. So it's kind of a lot of people are now under the impression we've got Lego Soccer coming to us, or football, whatever it's called in your region. Yeah, today is the day for Call of Duty's Modern Warfare 3's release, which is why we're getting so much news on that front. We already know that the campaign's only like 4 to 5 hours long. Pretty gross. Not that that's why most people buy that game, but still. Golden Joystick Awards. When is this popping off? This weekend? Today. This kicks off at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. How long is it supposed to last? Best audio, best storytelling, community, games expansion, gaming hardware, best indie game, multiplayer game, visual design, Nintendo Game of the Year, PC Game of the Year, PlayStation Game of the Year, Xbox Game of the Year. Oh, dude, lots of awards. I did not know this was popping off today, dude. Okay. We're gonna have to talk about potentially watching some of that. Pinky's gonna be like, "No, we're not." Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. I can only assume certain things about the parenting that's gone on in these situations in the first place to lead this to this kind of situation. But you know, I don't like to assume, but I have, you know, I think if I hadn't seen it all too often, I wouldn't lean this way so heavily. You know, talked about it yesterday. That new segment will probably be up later today. It's a can of worms, though, dude. You're gonna start suing entertainment companies for trying to call them addictive. That's a rabbit hole, man. Of so many other companies being lined up for potential lawsuits just for, you know, asinine reasons. Really, I mean, that's just ridiculous. This really comes off to me as just another iteration of video games being blamed for people's downfalls inherently, not wanting to adult. And video games have been blamed forever for so many different things, and and that's the way this comes off again. It comes off as people trying to blame video games for something else that they shouldn't be blamed for, and you know, it sets a bad precedent to for a lot of other things moving forward, potentially for lawsuits and stuff. I don't like it. We've talked about all the Sony. They've got like 12 live service games that they're working on. Only about half of them are kind of on schedule for release within the next like year to year and a half. We kind of talked about it yesterday. It's only a week away for Super Mario RPG remake, yo. Best Mario game ever. Fight me. Yo, Just Dance is being made accessible for everyone. That's actually dope, dude. That's really cool. Right, yeah. I was going to talk about this when we bring up the new Steam Deck OLED. This is definitely not their next gen Steam Deck. It's just going to be a an OLED screen in there. They've talked about the fact that they're not upgrading their Steam Deck for another 2 to 3 years, which would put it on about a 5 year life cycle for upgrade to its next model. Yeah, they've talked about that. Yeah. We've talked about the Legend of Zelda live action movie coming our way. It's looking like a GTA 6 trailer, like we talked about this yesterday too. GTA 6 trailer. Shout out to Vault for hooking us up with that article on our day off. But um, The trailer's going to be dropping next month around this time, which means more than likely it'll be at the Game Awards. The Game Awards will probably have the trailer for that, okay? So just be ready for that. Oh no, dude. Digital Extremes is laying off people too. God dang, bro. Oh my god. It's just never gonna end, dude. The amount of layoffs, it's just never gonna stop. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Dang. Feels so bad for all those people, man. All these companies apparently just overhired so badly during the pandemic, man. I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it. It's not all of it. Some of these companies have done a very poor job at their business strategies and investing and stuff. Embracer, Epic. Some of these companies, I think, definitely, did some over hiring during the pandemic period when most of the gaming industry really soared, which was, in opposition to so many other industries, areas of industry, that had such a tough time. Obviously, the one part of gaming that was hit very hard was hardware. Hardware was terrible. Technology as a whole just got obliterated by the pandemic. It was hard to get your hands on hardware at all. Consoles, PC hardware, it didn't matter. It was difficult. It was difficult. But gaming as a whole, as an industry, really, really took off during the pandemic. And I think a large part of this is, you know, things have kind of come back to reality a little bit, and some of these companies are like, well, we can't really sustain this workforce that we brought on for the that we felt like we needed for the pandemic, and now it's kind of a brutal thing. They're letting so many go, but there are different reasons, but I think that's part of it. This is awesome, dude. Gaming, Just Dance being made accessible. Let's turn off this music. My bad. Let's kill the music. Well, it already killed itself, apparently. Yeah, I love it when this website jacks up. Feels good. Fix this real quick. I don't ever wear my headset, dude, whenever I'm like doing the news, or hardly ever. So sometimes I can't hear the music. Sometimes it'll like shut off and I just don't even realize it because it's kind of low, anyways. There we go. Hopefully that'll be good moving forward. All right. All right, cool. Let's go. Alunico, what up, friendo? How you doing, brother? Dude, how are you? So, Just Dance is being made accessible for everyone. This is great, dude. This is so dope. What a great thing. I will absolutely applaud this. Applaud Ubi. This is fantastic, dude. I love to see this. I'm a huge, if you have not been around here very long or, very often, I'm a huge advocate for anybody and everybody being able to get themselves immersed in the world that myself and so many other people love so much, which is the world of video games. And it's taken us too long to have a substantial focus in the industry on getting, on accessibility, on getting people with, issues of mental and physical disabilities access to also enjoy the same world that we love on the same level, you know, at least as close to the same level as possible, right? And it is there's a much larger focus now than there ever has been. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Don't get me wrong, but I love to see this. I love to see this. The 2023 version of Just Dance includes a routine suitable for people in wheelchairs, dude. This is awesome.
Hi, I'm Seth, and I am in Ubisoft headquarters in Paris.
Ubisoft is the game company behind the hit game Just Dance. The latest version features a routine suitable for people in wheelchairs, just like me.
What does gaming mean to you?
I became disabled around 10 years ago. It was very difficult. I wasn't really able to leave my house very much. Gaming for me was really my kind of window into the world.
I love gaming just because I can...
That's so dope, dude.
See them, like you said.
Exactly.
Like you can play with them and enjoy yourself with your friends without actually having to be there in front of them. Do you think game companies are doing enough to make their games accessible, or do you think they need more?
Every game that we release that comes out, if it's more accessible than the last, then we're making good progress.
Thank you for talking to me about gaming.
Of course.
Give you a handshake.
Of course. So good to meet you.
That's very cool. Yeah. 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 Yeah, there's a lot of accessibility that happens now. The thing that I always talk about is like, what I hate to see is developers, they try to act like there are certain things that should by default just be options for every game. They should have been forever, you know. That shouldn't be considered accessibility. You're talking about like key binding, button mapping, field of view sliders, you know, your ability to change the size of text and stuff, you know, on screen for if you want subtitles. That is not stuff that should be considered accessibility. Psych, God dang, what's up, brother? You know, those are options that forever have just needed to be default options for gaming, you know? And it kills me whenever games come out and don't even have basic options for gamers like that. But yeah, we've talked about it a lot, whether it be options for dyslexia, certain kinds of phobias like thalassophobia, which is the fear of deep water, right? Or like arachnophobia, like in Grounded, you can turn the spiders into basically just blobs. They don't have legs or anything, you know. Or even for colorblind people, you know, there are a lot of developers that are coming out with different ways to address accessibility for people with disabilities in all of its forms and fashions, right? From peripherals to the implementations of the development of the games and stuff like that, you know. There's all kinds of stuff, dude, you know. And so it happens all the time. We're seeing it become more and more ingrained in a lot of the development of the games and stuff. And so it's really good stuff. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that in a ton of games, colorblind options. There's if I didn't touch on that, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in a lot of games. Not all developers are doing it, but it is becoming a much more prominent part of the development of video games. And it should have been for a long time, but I guess better late than never. You know what I mean? Part of it has, you know, been an issue of needing technology to evolve to help incorporate our ability to get it there in some forms and fashions. But we've also just needed developers to be focused on it, you know, which we're getting there. It needs more, but we're getting there, and that's great. More than 135 million people have played Just Dance, but how accessible is it for everyone? Ubisoft's video game has 500 unique choreographies that users from around the world follow. Seth, 14, from Adinas Poyas Vale of Glamorgan, was invited to the company's Paris studio to test out the latest version. He spoke to designers and choreographers and gave his input on a new routine for people in wheelchairs. Seth, who has a rare muscle wasting condition called Duchenne muscular dystrophy, is a member of the Welsh Youth Parliament. This is his story. Like most teenagers, I love gaming with my friends and brothers, but using a wheelchair means I'm not always able to join in with every video game. I have a disability that affects my muscles. If I play a game that involves me moving a lot, I'm not always very good at it and my arms ache easily. Gaming is important to me, so I wanted to know how tech companies are creating new games to suit people with disabilities. I was invited with children in need to meet the Paris-based team behind the hit game Just Dance. Latest version of the game features, for the first time, a routine performed by a dancer in a wheelchair. Players are invited to sit and follow the arm movements whilst holding their phone or console. Quote, everyone can get joy from dance, Stacy Jenkins, one of Ubi's accessibility design specialists, told me. Game development is a really long process, but if you start to think about accessibility right at the beginning, we can make things accessible by design. If you're a developer and you're interested in accessibility, you just need to listen to disabled people. What a novel idea. What a novel idea. Look, this doesn't just apply to making games better for disabled people. This applies to making games better as a whole. If development companies would listen to their communities that are playing their games, games would be better. That can be applied across the board. We talk about that a lot. But obviously, it comes into play here, as a critical part of making games accessible. But it's also something that needs to be implemented by so many developers to just make their games more enjoyable for the people that are going to play them as a whole. Is it possible to make all games accessible to all people? I think it's really difficult to make games completely 100% accessible to absolutely everybody at the same time, says Stacy. Every game that we release, if it's more accessible than the last, then we're making good progress. After chatting to Stacy, I tested Just Dance in the studio with Florent Devilsaver, a Belgian dancer in a wheelchair who features in the game. He told me how he had to adapt the dance moves to work for him, as well as making sure they still worked in a video game. I probably butchered his name. I'm so sorry. I loved meeting Florent and having a go at the dance routine in the studio. It was really enjoyable. Nice to see that even though you have a disability, it doesn't define you and you can do whatever you want with your life. I think people are making a huge effort to develop more accessible games. It's going to take some time. We've seen some really amazing progress being made, Stacy tells me. I think we've still got a long way to go. I think gaming companies need to figure out what works for people with disabilities, but I definitely think things are changing. I have confidence. That is excellent, dude. I rip on Ubi quite often because as a developer, we've seen them struggle over the past few years. To a great extent, struggle, right? To where it feels like it's hard for them to do anything outside of their normal box. Tom Clancy, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Just Dance, those kinds of things. If they try to do anything new, it's a struggle for them, And I'm not a big fan of how quickly they push out all their Assassin's Creed stuff, So I give Ubisoft a little bit of grief right now for some of the things that I think they could be doing better. But this is fantastic. I applaud Ubi for what they're doing here with this game. This is great. Accessibility is needed. There needs to be even more of a focus on it, as far as I'm concerned. Continuing moving forward, it's progressing, which is great, but we got to keep pressing it forward. Everybody that wants to be immersed in this world that we all love so much of video games needs to have the option of being able to dive in at will. You know what I mean? And this is part of progression, Wheelchair ICU. There you go, dude. Yeah. So this is great. This is great. What were you saying up there? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's where you have to have so that last statement you had there, Psych. I think there's a middle ground because I've seen so many times where gamers think they know what they want and end up hating it. This is where you need a large data set, at least some kind of substantial data set. I talk about this a lot too. So it just because you're going to get feedback doesn't mean all that feedback is going to be taken seriously. It doesn't mean all of it's going to be implemented, right? But you need a large amount of feedback, right? Which is why, like somebody like Larian putting Baldur's Gate 3 into early access was a great thing for them. They got a lot of feedback. And what you do is you take the chunk of the feedback that where people are saying the same stuff, and you have to seriously consider that, right? If you got those small pieces of people just one-off and stuff, that's probably stuff that you're not really going to take into consideration, right? But if you've got a large data set and a large amount of people are saying the same thing, you know, then it's at least something a developer needs to look at taking seriously. Does it mean they're absolutely going to implement it? No. But it's at least something they know they need to take seriously, right? Feedback's important. And I do think that if you take a look at developers who tend to listen to their community about the things they want to see and implement it in a game, and the way that they seriously take it into consideration and implement some of that stuff, those games tend to fare better. Oh my god, dude. The layoffs are never ending, dude. We got two of these in a row here. They're never gonna stop, bro. Um so we've got Warframe developer prepares to lay off staff as it cuts publishing arm. Not yet known how many people will be affected. This sucks, dude, because I really I enjoy Digital Extremes. I think that they Warframe's a banger of a game. It's one of the better. Warframe is one of the better examples of a true free to play title in modern gaming. This game has been developed for 10 years now. They had their 10-year anniversary earlier this year. It's developed very, very well. It's got a great community behind it. It's got a great economy within it. You can grind most stuff out in this game if you're willing to devote the time to it. You don't need to pay for it. And again, free to play. And it's just a good example of a successful game on the free to play side that didn't feel like they needed to resort to doing something like Bungie did, where it's more free to try. You know, I'm just using Bungie as an example because it's one of the more like recent things on the top of my head. You know, so it's like the free to try, but you're gate kept from a lot of content unless you want to buy DLC. And you know, there's also the premium currency in there too, and things like that, which this game has premium currency, but you can actually grind it out pretty well in the game as well. It's got a really good economy behind it. And they've got a new game coming this way as well. So they've got Warframe, and they've got a new game coming called Soulframe. So it's it sucks to see Digital Extremes struggling right now, as I really do think and we just about 3 months ago we saw some really good trailers come out about the gameplay from I think it's Soulframe, right? I think Soulframe is their new game coming. We'll take a look at that. But That game looks great. It's been in development for a while. Really excited about it. It's going to be another free-to-play game. And I hope that they're going to be okay here. Digital Extremes, the developer behind multiplayer sci-fi shooter Warframe, has announced a number of layoffs at the studio. This comes as a result of plans to close Digital Extremes' publishing division. Okay. This closure also means that Digital Extremes will no longer be publishing free-to-play online action RPG Wayfinder. Instead, full control of the game will revert to its developer, Texas-based studio Airship Syndicate. Speaking to Eurogamer, we need to look at this. Digital Extremes stated, "We have made the difficult decision to cease operations of our external projects division. We have had to say goodbye to a number of hardworking and highly valuable team members as a result. At this stage, we don't yet know how many people will be affected by these layoffs. However, we do know that these redundancies at Digital Extremes follow a troubling trend of layoffs across the industry in recent months." Yeah. At least they're like recognizing and, stating this. Oh, this wasn't a quote from them. Yeah, this is actually just from the author. Fortnite, Epic laid off over 800. It was closer to like 850, I think. Bungie's got layoffs. Ubi, CDPR. Dude, I mean, bro, Embracer. You name it, dude. Everybody. We got another article coming up about Unity, where they're going to be letting people go now, which honestly, not surprising. That company's probably going to get just obliterated after what they did. But we'll talk about that in a second. Despite being new to publishing, Digital Extremes is a long-running developer with over 3 decades of industry experience. Responsible for the Unreal series of classic first-person shooter titles, the studio would go on to find even greater success with Warframe. A competitor to Destiny 2, Warframe would carve out its own niche with its whip-fast combat, wide range of playable characters. Wayfinder would not enjoy the same level of success and was released to mixed reviews when it launched back in August. The title's review score on Steam currently stands at mixed, signaling an uphill battle for the developer. Given the volume and frequency of industry layoffs in recent months, looks as though the Wayfinder developer is not alone in having some challenging times ahead. Yeah, that sucks. Let's look at Wayfinder real quick. The name is familiar. We're going to talk about this too, but hold on. What's up, Soup? How you doing, friendo? Wayfinder. Oh, dude, this is the one that looks like Fortnite met WoW or something, dude. I didn't know that Digital Extremes was published this. Do you guys remember this? Soup, what are you talking about? About them announcing that they've got a trailer coming or whatever?
The gloom descended on Skylight. You rallied to protect the beacon and paid a terrible price. But I have found your echoes in the gloom.
I just started the news up, man.
Remember who you were.
And to be fair, I don't really keep up with Rockstar. They're kind of gross to me.
And return to us.
So, no.
Silo, the Emperor called you a thief
All
and
right,
a
yeah, I'll look it
smuggler.
up.
But the people called you a hero. And they need that hero now. Nis, born in darkness, sworn to revenge. Nothing will stand between you and your prey.
I didn't see anything new this
the
morning in
last
our
of the
news
Iron
search, though.
Sisters.
Not that we hadn't already
When
seen.
you close your eyes, that pain fades into the roar of the crowds. Wingrave, you safeguarded Skylight long before the fall. Give us hope that the light can
See, it gives me like WoW meets Fortnite vibes. I don't know.
Venomous, a child of the maze, a nation of monsters.
I'll link it if you guys want to see the rest of it, but yeah, apparently it's not doing very good. 46% positive, all reviews, even recent, are right around the same. So, MMORPG kind of situation. I'll link it if you want to take a look at it. Oh yeah, let me show you this too though. So if you're not familiar, is it not on here? Oh, it's not on here yet, is it? It's just Soul Frame, dude. This is Soul Frame. You wait, what? Interesting. Let me see something real quick. Oh, come on, man. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, we're good. They've got an awesome cinematic reveal. They've got a long like gameplay spotlight, which is like 18. Oh, that's just a gameplay spot. They've got a YouTube video that's like 20 minutes almost of just gameplay for the game, and it looks very, very good. Again, I think that Digital Extremes is a great developer. Doesn't look like their publishing efforts are going to continue. They've struggled there, obviously, but I do think that they're a good developer. It feels bad. There are going to be more layoffs, though, man, in the industry. They're just nonstop, dude. But I do recommend taking a look at this. This game looks so dope, dude. Soul Frame. Yeah. Okay, let me see if this is actually anything new. Yo. You shake weight jam. I'm not logged in here anymore. What's crap? Booty, baby. What up, Ferret? Are pretty funny, Gabs. You talking about this one? I'll probably have to log in here. Well, all right. That's what I just did. I just searched for the tweet, dude. Hold on. Just let me log in real quick. I'm usually logged in. I don't know how I got logged out. What's up, buddy? All right, what is this, dude? Soup, this is literally what I was just talking about. And you're like, no, you need to look at the Twitter. What? Bro. I was like, I was like, we've already heard about the trailer and everything. And then you're like, no, there's a tweet. You need to look at the tweet. It's like, what? No, that's exactly what it is. We've already talked about this. What the crap, dude? There's literally no point in going there. That's what I was saying. I was like, we talked about it yesterday. Yeah. I have no thoughts right now. What is there to think? We don't know anything yet. We'll see the trailer. I think that I was talking about it. I mean, I appreciate you coming in and making sure we were aware. I'll say that. Okay, thanks for making sure we were aware. But that's exactly what I was talking about. Was like we already know that the trailer's coming next month. So there wasn't any point in going there. I do appreciate people bringing stuff to my attention, but you know, if I've said we've already seen the stuff and talked about it, then you know, I'd rather not waste time trying to. Yeah. They announced an announcement, basically. Yeah. Here's the thing. They're like, next month around this time, they're going to show a trailer, which means where's it probably going to showcase at? The Game Awards, right? So the Game Awards happen on the 7th of December, I think is when it's happening next month. So thanks, dude. So 7th of December, we're going to have the Game Awards. And, you know, that's probably where it's going to showcase at, right? So that's where I would tell you to expect it at. Expect seeing the GTA 6 trailer to pop off at the Game Awards, right? So I think he's just trolling. You don't know if Rockstar wants to showcase it at the awards show? Why wouldn't they? It's not like it's the only place it's going to be. They're going to push it out as soon as it showcases. There are going to be a lot of people watching that. It's a huge event for gaming. Soup. Remember the 7th of December. That's right, dude. It's a huge event for gaming. It's like one of the biggest events of the entire year. There's so many people that tune into that. It's not like it's the only place it's going to, you know, it's like as soon as it pops off there, it'll be all over the place. It'll be put out on their YouTube. It'll be put out on Twitter. It'll be put out everywhere. But it's actually a pretty good play. But did they do a trailer release for Red Dead 2 anytime around that time period? That's what I'm getting at. I mean, I'm not saying it's a definite, but there's a good chance of it. There's a good chance of it, dude. I'm not saying it's a definite thing. I'm saying that there's a good expectation for it to happen there. But that's what it doesn't make any sense if they can get it showcased at the Game Awards. That's in front of even more people. And the Game Awards always is about showcasing upcoming games, new games, stuff like that, as well as doing awards. So it makes sense, dude. It makes sense. It just does. So here's the thing. There's a lot of hype behind it. Obviously, it's Grand Theft Auto. It's you know, it doesn't it's just a trailer. It doesn't, you know, until that game goes gold, I wouldn't hold my breath. Okay? It's a big game. It needs to be really polished when it comes out. And whatever, you know, we don't have a release date or anything right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if I mean, we might see some kind of window. I don't think you'll see a definitive release date in the trailer. You'll probably see some kind of window, but you've got to be cognizant of the fact that there's the potential for a delay there too. Any game ever that has a window for release until it's gone gold, which means they're actually boxing it up, shipping it out, all that stuff, there's the potential for delay. So, I mean, we'll get to see hopefully gameplay more than cinematic. You know, that's what I'm always looking for is like, you know, show me gameplay. I think it's going to be a huge evolution. It should be. should be a huge evolution over what GTA 5 was. But for me, dude, Rockstar's just turned into another one of those big, greedy ass developers that they only care about one thing, dude. And I'm not, I don't give a whole lot of fluffs, man, to be honest with you. Other than the fact that, like, keeping up with what's going on in the industry and everything, obviously that's important to me. So I'll keep track of what's going on with GTA 6. I am not hyped at all. I could give a crap less about that game. In large part because of the company behind it. They've just really fallen out of favor with me, dude. So, I mean, to each their own, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, Ferret. I wouldn't be surprised. So, I mean, for me, that's where I'm at with Rockstar. I'm just so over them, dude. And they're gonna make a ton of money off that game. There are a ton of people hyped about it. And cool, good for them. I'm not gonna be one of those people that feed that company anymore. After what I've seen from them here recently, what I've seen them turn into, it's not my kind of jam, dude. I don't want to feed a company like that. I don't want to support a company like that. It's not for me, dude. So yeah, what do you mean shadow drop? I think the trailer will be at the award show. I do. You think they're going to release? Bro, you're out of your mind. I don't think so. I don't think it's ready. I mean, it could. Bro, I want to hold you to that one, though. That's what I was like, really, dude? You think they're just going to release it? No. That would be wild. Dude, the gaming industry would be turned on its head. I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It would be a wild flipping thing. Jesus Christ. You know why they won't do it? I'll tell you why they won't do it, Volt. You know exactly why they won't do that. A company like Rockstar, I'll give you the biggest reason why they won't shadow drop that game. I'll give you one guess. Oh, bro, that would be hilarious. Exactly. They won't be able to do pre-orders and stuff for it. They need to promote the crap out of that game with pre-order schemes, and you pre-order and we'll get you these cosmetics, and they're going to be running so many schemes and ploys to get people to be buying that game early and stuff. There's no way they'll shadow drop that game. No flipping way. Physical collectors, you name it, dog. Yeah, that's it. It's exactly money, dude. You nailed it. There's no way they'll shadow drop that game. If they do, bro, you deserve some flipping major kudos, dude. Yo, Soup could also be at the Game Awards. Oh, bro. Yeah. If they do, Vault's living in Australia. Living in the future, bro. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is my thing. I find it so funny how like riled up people get about stuff like I've talked about this for a while, like whether it be GTA 6 or it be anything about Bloodborne potentially coming back as a remaster or Bloodborne 2 or I mean a remake or Bloodborne 2 or anything. Dude, people lose their flipping minds. And it can literally be nothing substantial. It can be nothing substantial. You know? Like this. This is just yo, we're going to get a trailer in a month and people are losing their lids, dude. Losing their lids. You know, it's like, yo, they announced that there's going to be a trailer, you know, it's like in a month. People are freaking out. And it's like, oh my God, dude. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it will. Yeah, yeah. I do think that, you know, for the a significant amount of technical evolution we've had since like GTA 5 came out and was developed, it'll be substantial. The game is going to be pretty impressive, I think, compared to what GTA 5 was. Bro, they could do Bully 2 right now if they wanted to. They don't care, dude. They don't care. They don't care. They don't give a crap about anything else. We know that. Which sucks and feels bad because I would love Bully 2 as well, dude. You know? GTA 6 is not breaking the $2 billion budget threshold for development, dude. There's no way. We've heard that they're breaking the $1 billion. There's no way they're breaking $2 billion. Here's the thing you have to understand about that too, Soup. Only half of that's going to the actual development of the game, though. That's the way it works nowadays. Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying before, Ferret was like, no matter when they say that window is, you have to be prepared for a delay. Because if they release that game in a bad state, they know they're going to get wrecked. Because this is the only game they care about. This is the only game that they try to work on. And there's just so much flipping hype behind it and stuff that if they release it and it's not finished and it's a mess, they're going to get wrecked. So whatever, if the trailer comes out and it has a window on it, I don't think it'll have a definitive release date. It'll have some kind of window on it, maybe for a release date, probably. You've got to be understanding of the fact that that could potentially get delayed from that. That's the world we live in with gaming and stuff. But I think that what you also have to be prepared for, you have to be prepared for how much this game's going to cost. We've heard rumors of the fact that this game's going to be substantially more expensive than what we normally see for AAA titles. Yep, base game I've heard $100. Base game $100. That's not a deluxe version. That's not, you know, collectors. Collectors would probably be like $500 at least. I'm betting, you know, because they'll probably be limited collector's editions. Those are going to get just scalped up, dude. You know, it's going to be a mess. I mean, we can speculate all day. You know what I mean? But I mean, the main thing is, yeah, we touched on this. There's a trailer coming in roughly a month, probably a little under a month. I stick by it. I think it's going to pop off at the Game Awards. I really do. It doesn't mean it necessarily will. It doesn't have to, but I think it's a good place for it to. So for all the people out there that are excited about GTA, I'm happy for you. I hope that the trailer satisfies your itch a little bit for how long you've been waiting, but you're going to have more time to wait, you know? So I don't know. I I don't feel it, dude. I don't feel any kind of hype for that game at all. It's almost like what it is for me is like I'm sitting on the sidelines, like in a flipping, like a lawn chair with a beer, just like laughing and watching people. You know what I mean? I'm just like watching the show, dude. It's like a circus, dog. It's a circus. And for me, it's just a show, dude. Yeah, basically fair. Yeah. Yeah, I have no kind of want for this game at all. Again, and not because of what the game provides content-wise, but in large part because of who this company is and everything. I just don't want to support it. And so it just doesn't appeal to me, man. So I don't know. But I do hope that everybody that's interested, I hope they get to see something that excites them. That's what gaming's about. So, yeah, that's me. I'm just chilling, just watching the circus, dude. So, Soup, I do appreciate you making sure we were aware. I tried to tell you we knew about it, though. That's funny. Soup's just hyped up, bro. Soup's hyped, bro. Hyped up. All right, here, let's get into this next one, dude. Unity's likely to lay off employees to cut costs. Dude, Unity's gonna die. Gonna die. In September, Unity announced a new. So if you're not familiar with what happened with Unity basically tried to push out this entire new pricing scheme that was so gross and scummy about a month to a month and a half ago now, and it was so gross. They didn't touch base with any customers really to ensure that this was maybe going to be something viable for them. It came off as an absolute greed play, and they didn't take into consideration a lot of different, areas in which this was not going to play well for them, and they didn't really care, to be honest. It was just, we need money, and they pushed it out, and they got wrecked. So many developers shot them down, criticized them openly, left their platform, you name it, and basically said that they would never use Unity's engine again moving forward, right? So at that time, I kind of was like, look, I really don't see any way in which Unity ends up coming out of this. It seems like this company is probably going to die off because of this. Unless they got to a point where they were struggling so bad, another company could come in, clean house, and build it back up. It's about the only way I see it working. But in September, Unity announced a new pricing model that was met with backlash from developers. In October, Unity CEO John Riccitiello was announced his retirement, and the company amended its pricing model after outcry from the gaming community. Doesn't it? Yeah, it does, dude. Agreed. So, New Delhi game development software company Unity has announced that it will likely go for layoffs as part of cost-saving measures. The company said that several weeks ago it started a comprehensive assessment of its product portfolio to focus on those products that are most valuable to its customers. In its Q3 earnings report, Unity said that it also evaluating the right cost structure that aligns with a more focused portfolio. We are acting quickly and expect to make final decisions over the next few weeks. We expect to start implementing the plan within this quarter and expect to complete all interventions before the end of the first quarter of 2024, said the company. This move will likely include discontinuing certain product offerings, reducing our workforce, and reducing our office footprint. The game developer added, the exact timing of these interventions is difficult to estimate, said the company, adding that it is not providing guidance for the fourth quarter of the full year of 2023. In September, Unity announced a new pricing model that was met with backlash from developers. Like we said, in October, their CEO retired, which is also a former. There's a lot of history behind John Riccitiello. I had some pretty questionable actions as a high-ranking member of like EA and some other companies and stuff, and now he comes in here and just destroys this company too, you know. So I don't know how somebody like this keeps getting these jobs where they keep doing bad stuff. You know, greasing palms, knows the right people apparently, but the board will initiate a comprehensive search process with the assistance of a leading executive search firm to identify a permanent CEO, company said, adding that James Whitehurst will step in as interim CEO, president, and board member. Apparently, there were a lot of outspoken employees about what was being talked about being done with the new pricing model, and the employees were saying this is not a good idea. We shouldn't be doing this. We at least need to be talking to consumers first, you know, are the developers that use our engine, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, it was pushed out. And a lot of their employees were really pissed about it. And rightfully so. Upcoming free-to-play games people are excited for. What do we got? X Defiant. This is Ubi's game, right? Yep. It got delayed again, didn't it? But I think it's been doing some beta stuff. So did have, yeah, open beta helps sell the game's potential. Star Wars Hunters. This is like mobile, Android, iOS, and Switch. Yeah, this just got delayed too, by the way. But it has been out there for a while as a like early access game or something. We talked about this yesterday. The Finals. This is Embark. Did we just read something about this? Oh, this is the game that people were talking about. It feels pretty good, but they've been using like AI voice stuff that they've been getting a lot of flack for. So the Finals, yeah, it's supposed to be decent. Off the Grid. Another Battle Royale, Gunzilla Games. Have we seen Off the Grid? Is that in here? Nope. Huh. 1 second, guys. Okay, I'll address that later. Laters. The Grid. See if I can find this real quick. I'm not familiar with this. Anybody else seen this? I don't think I've seen this. Oh, random mode time, by the way. Oh, look who it is!
Fans, welcome to Cobra's Corner. Is this for real? Yes, Black Sabbath.
What's up, True?
3 huge game developers have gotten together to create
Good morning,
the
friendo.
ultimate gaming experience. The top video game players in the world, are they any good in real-life battle royale type situation? Not this, but actually this.
I'm good. Still just got a little bit of that cough I'm trying to
It's not laying around
get
on a
out,
screen.
you know.
We do have
But I'm
next
feeling
Navy
pretty
SEALs coming
good.
out. We need the best of the best.
Thanks for asking. How are you?
Anybody can play. You just gotta be brave enough.
This looks
to take a
kind of
bullet.
gnarly, dude.
Kilo Kitty wants to know if it hurts. Of course it
Bro, what was that spaghetti aim, dude?
We donate 100 grand worth of cyberlimbs. But there's a chance for fame. There's a chance for fortune. I need you to take her down to Midtown Harbor. Do not stop. You can also... No,
Yeah, thanks.
God.
It's a rough one, dude. It really got in there. I might have actually had like a,
Watch me.
you know, kind of a bronchial infection or something, but I didn't go to the doctor. I probably could have knocked this thing out with a little bit of like some antibiotics or something, but you know, you just stream through it. Just eat it. You know what I mean? Just eat food, stream through it. Huh. Off the grid. Interesting. And then Division Heartland. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, friendo. It's good to see you. Happy Friday, by the way. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, exactly true. Yeah. Throne and Liberty. NCSoft, huh? MMORPG. Multiverses is coming back, by the way. We'll see if it ends up doing any good. Blue Protocol. This is the one coming out by Amazon, isn't it? Yeah, Amazon Blue Protocol. When is this coming? Next year. Arc Raiders as well. Yep. That's Embark as well. Extraction shooter. Doesn't have a release date. Arc Knights. That's going to be mobile and PC. First Descendant looks dope as well. We've played a little bit of this. I don't really know what to expect right now. It had some cool stuff. I just the beta got kind of repetitive. Amazon Games still just mobile? No. Amazon Games hasn't been just mobile. Are you thinking Netflix? Yeah, that was Netflix. Yeah. We talked about that a little bit this morning. No, Amazon has been like multi-platform basically since their inception, really. Yeah. But yeah, Netflix is still struggling to get their, anything other than mobile stuff going, which is pretty brutal. Yeah. First Descendant, we played the beta of this. It was fun. It was cool. It kind of gave you like a Warframe vibe meets like Destiny a little bit, like mesh those. But it started feeling a bit repetitive. I was kind of hoping it was just part of the beta experience, but we'll see when it releases. This game was cool. It was cool. The thing that was rough for me was like, when you would go out and do like quests in the world, there wasn't any variety in it really. It was just like, just like kill these guys, or protect the node or whatever. It was kind of lacking in my opinion for like what the quests wanted you to get done out in the world, But I hope it was just part of the beta. Perfect New World. Iron Core Games. Closed beta test happened in June. Stormgate. This is the one coming out. This is the MOBA-esque kind of game. Real-time strategy. RTS. I guess that is more of an RTS. This is from the developers of some former developers out of Blizzard and stuff though. So they know what they're doing. Frost Giant Studios. Carlson? FPS game? I don't know. Take a look, man. A lot of free to play titles coming our way. We know of a lot of these. There are some that are a little bit more obscure. I'm not real familiar with, but a lot of these pretty familiar with. But if you're interested in some free to play titles coming our way, there's a link for you right there. Okay, let's talk about this real quick before I forget about it. Okay, that is Warframe, though, Ferret. To be fair, it's actually kind of for a lot of people, it's kind of a cool mechanic to dive into. It's one of those things where it's like, as a free to play game, you know, you can buy it with real money, and so there's not pay to win, but there's pay to progress, right? And as a free to play game, it's not a bad mechanic to incorporate. Yeah. So, you can either play and grind out the things you need for those specific different characters, or that you want to play as, to make them and unlock them and stuff like that, or you can pay for it to progress faster and unlock those other characters, right? It's not necessarily pay to win, but it's pay to progress, right? So I've always enjoyed that about Warframe. I've always thought that was a great way to do a free-to-play game. It's got a great economy behind it, which allows you to potentially trade people for some of the items you need to create those other frames that you wanted, things of that nature. Sell some of the more sought-after parts you might have that other people want for premium currency, things like that. So the thing that I wasn't a big fan of in that aspect of what the First Descendant brought to the table was you play as different characters. It kind of takes away from the role-playing immersion. So it's like you're literally like booting up as different characters to go play in the world as, rather than you doing it more Warframe style, where it's your character is your character, and you're getting to like maybe implement a different like chassis or chipset or something like that. You know what I mean? To play as a different class. I enjoy the thought of that more than just playing as a different character altogether. Every single time I want to play as with different abilities or whatever, you know? But to each their own. I actually am cool with that grind. I think it's a good way to do free-to-play games. You know? It allows people that want to continue to play free to be able to get things done in a free-to-play way. People that aren't willing to do it in a free-to-play way and are willing to pay can pay. I think it's a solid mechanic. So Once Human, we played this beta. The last time they had a beta, we played it. It's pretty dope. It was a lot of fun. If you've seen the Loot the Booty from the montage, one of the newer montages we have done, there's the Loot the Booty. That is from this beta. Where the enemy's like rolled over and you can see his cake sitting there. And I'm talking about looting the booty. That is where that comes from, is this game. The game is cool, man. It's survival, resource gathering, base building. It's a third-person shooter. It's very, very neat. It's got a very cool class system. It's got a lot of weapons. It's got weapon building and different accessories. It's got drops in the game, like RNG drops and stuff. It's very neat, dude. It's got boss grinds in it and stuff like that. Spooters, we love spooters. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a multiplayer. It's like an MMO environment, right? So I loved this. Even in the beta that I played, it had some rough edges, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this immensely. I got an email last night notifying me that they have another beta test coming in a little under a month. So I'll read this. Hey, metas, that's what they call the players in the game. How's it going these days? We're excited to announce that Once Human is launching a new PC beta test on December 7th. Excuse me. This test would include some of the latest game features previously revealed by the development team and provides participants with the opportunity to get a hands-on experience of the long-awaited title. Players who pre-registered now on the game's official web can receive a Pioneer reward when the beta begins. Let's watch the trailer here for their upcoming beta. The base building is really cool. It's got a little bit of, it needed some tightening up, but it was a beta, you know. The core of this game was already really, really good for the beta, though. I'm really excited for this. So, PC, Once Human is a survival PC game set in a sandbox open world where players team up to combat the aberrant, grotesquely mutated monsters that have ravaged humanity and destroyed cities. Featuring a new weird style, they created a unique, grand, and eerie open world game set in a post-apocalyptic environment. Once Human players will strive to survive in a world polluted by alien substance dubbed Stardust, where grotesque monsters and deformed mutations of unknown origins lurk around every corner. While the fruit of human civilization crumbled overnight amidst the most incredible catastrophe humans have ever met, players will take on the role of meta, banding together with fellow players to uphold justice and freedom in a world gone mad. Yeah. Yeah, so February is the one I played in earlier this year. And so if you want to get in on this, man, I'll link. You can register on their website for the upcoming beta. Cool. They've got a link to their website right here. Get there through Steam and check it out. Highly recommend. The game's a lot of fun. I'll be registering to try to get back in on the beta, this next beta too, because if I don't have anything going on at that time, I might slide in there, play a little bit more of this. We'll see. We'll see. But I'd like to at least have the option of playing a little bit more of this and seeing what the current state of the game is, because it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And if we could get some other people in on the beta and play together, I think that would be even cooler, because I didn't get to play with anybody else in the beta before, really, from the community. And if we could do that, that would be a lot of fun, I think. Oh, here we go. The day before system requirements revealed. This game is a mythological creature of the gaming world at this point. It was supposed to come out earlier this year, late last year, earlier this year. It's been delayed numerous times. It's been a lot of weird stuff surrounding this title. It was for like a year and a half before Hogwarts Legacy, like the most wishlisted Steam game, and it's literally it's a weird situation surrounding this. Oh yeah, Vault for reals, huh? Yeah, it's still tough to believe it's real, but the day before is shaping up for release. It was supposed to release like today, but it got pushed back another month, so next month now. Recently announced the day before, the beleaguered open-world zombie survival game will suffer from another delay, but a final trailer was released to showcase all the changes that have been made up until this point in the game's development cycle. I However, just one day later, it was revealed that the trailer had more or less scalped scenes and lines of dialogue from other trailers and titles. Now the PC requirements for the day before have been revealed, suggesting the game, which will be released in early access on December 7th, the developer claims, will be quite a demanding title. Is it even real? Everyone is waiting with bated breath to see if the day before manages to be released on December 7th. From complex court cases to strange gameplay trailers, the day before has had a tough time of it getting this far. There are just a few weeks left until it supposedly releases, but it's dropping in early access along with warnings from Fantastic, the game's developer. It will be early access on Steam since this is our first huge game. There may be unforeseen circumstances. We've seen this trailer. Here's their minimum requirements: an i5-8400 or AMD equivalent, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1060 GTX or an AMD equivalent, 55 gigs of space, solid state drive preferred. Recommended: an i7-8700 or AMD equivalent, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1080 Ti or AMD equivalent, and 55 gigs of storage. That's not that bad, really. I don't feel like. I highly recommend you don't buy this game on release. Highly recommend you don't buy this game on release. But this is why. Because it's so sketchy. There's just so much weirdness surrounding this title that there are a lot of red flags, if you will. Wait till it releases and look at reviews. Give it a couple days. Give it 2 or 3 days. Look at reviews. See what people are saying before you decide to spend any money on this title, okay? That's my piece. But we'll see what happens. Let's keep this down here. Valve introduces the Steam Deck OLED for a more immersive gaming experience. False accusations, blasphemy! High dynamic range screen, longer lasting battery, faster downloads, and more. What you guys need to know is this is not like an evolutionary model of the Steam Deck from Valve. They have been very, very explicit in telling everybody they are not planning on really, really upgrading to a new model of Steam Deck for another 2 to 3 years, okay? What is this, bro? yeah, dude. But they have come out with an upgraded version of the Steam Deck. The current models of the Steam Deck have an upgraded version now. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got you now, dude. Yeah. The Steam Deck OLED features the same handheld PC gaming console experience as the original Steam Deck LCD, but with an HDR OLED screen, a longer lasting battery, which was needed, and faster Wi-Fi. It probably makes this a little bit heavier now, but various tweaks and improvements across the board as well. Let's take a look at this real quick. Cool. November 16th. With the screen, you can expect better motion rendition, brighter colors, blacker blacks, and a larger picture. Battery has 30 to 50% more life. That is very significant. The OLED display draws less power. The handheld also comes with an updated, more efficient AMD APU and Wi-Fi 6E, which offers increased bandwidth and lower latency, with download speeds up to 3 times faster and more stable online play. This model also features a bigger fan and updated thermals so that it runs cooler, and it weighs 30 grams, which is 5% lighter than the LCD model. Interesting. Steam Deck OLED comes with 2 storage options, 512 gigs or 1 terabyte, and the price of the LCD model has been lowered. With the price drop, you can now pick up the Steam Deck 512 gigabyte LCD for $450 US, the 256 gigabyte LCD for $400 US, and the 64 gigabyte LCD for $350 US. The OLED 512 gig model will run you $550, and the 1 terabyte model will be OLED 1 terabyte model will be $650. There's also the Steam Deck 1 terabyte OLED limited edition translucent colorway available in the US and Canada only for $680. I bet that's cool looking. You can also pick up the docking station for $80. This is the one criticism for me about Valve that they've done with the Steam Deck. I think it's ridiculous that this does not come with its just doesn't come with some kind of basic docking station as part of your purchase. If they wanted to come out with some kind of better, docking station, more elaborate, have more ports and options for it, whatever, that you could pay for, fine. But these kinds of handhelds nowadays that play a dual role where you can dock them, dude, the Switch doesn't make you pay for a dock. It comes with it. This is what I would like to see. At least something basic, where it's just a dock with one display port, whether it be an actual display port or an HDMI port, and the charging port. And then if you want to get bigger and badder with it and pay $80 for a more elaborate one or whatever, cool. You know what I mean? But make it come with something, man. That's always been my one criticism about Valve and the Steam Deck. Check it out. Let's pull this up. See if we can see the translucent one real quick. Right here on their main page, you can see the new Steam Deck OLED. Yeah. So you can see the prices. $550 for the 512 gigabyte OLED version and $650 for the 1 terabyte OLED version. Limited edition. Check this bad boy out. Oh, that's cool, dude. Look at the translucent, smoked colored. That's pretty neat, man. And the price drop while supplies last for the older LCD versions, okay? Yeah, I like the old Game Boy ones, dude. You need a solid gold one. Yeah, yeah, boy. Yeah. That would be dope. Yo, you just buy one of these and just wrap it, dog. Take the case off and just wrap it. Wrap it in like a translucent gold. You know what I'm saying? Like translucent gold wrap, son. You know what I mean? Be steezed out. Wrap it like a car, dude. You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope, dude. It wouldn't last very long, probably, on something like that, though. That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. That's a good play by Valve, I feel. Valve does a pretty good job with their software and hardware. And that's a pretty good play on their part, I think, for a bit of a nice little upgrade there. The Switch 2 is coming. Yeah, we've talked a lot about that. It's not even necessarily going to be called the Switch 2, right? I mean, that's not official. We know new hardware is on the way. There have been Nintendo insiders. There have been software collaborators with Nintendo that are already working on software for their new hardware, right? So we know that, yeah. I've been talking about this for a while. We know a new Nintendo. My prediction here, with everything I know and everything that I've been reading and hearing about through the industry, is that the new Nintendo hardware, whatever it is going to be called, will end up coming out at the end of summer into the fall time of next year. That's my prediction. So there's nothing official from Nintendo. But there's been enough insider information come out of people that know, everybody's on NDAs, so they can't be like, there's not a lot of details yet. That's why there's a lot of speculation. We already know that Nintendo's trying to hit a $400 price point for it. So we have a roundabout idea of what it's going to perform like, right? But nobody's seen anything, right? And that's Nintendo, though. Nintendo's going to be playing this very, very close to the vest. They're not going to let information out. Because Nintendo doesn't do that, right? Nintendo's pretty good about keeping information inside until they're ready to disclose it. And I'm cool with that. I think that people need to be more understanding about letting developers, whether it be software or hardware, do their thing and give us the information whenever it's time for us to have it. You know, don't push them into a corner and make them feel like they don't have any option on it. You know what I mean? So it's coming, but I wouldn't expect it really until the end of summer or into the fall time of next year. I would say probably like in July, August, September, maybe something like that. If it's not out by that point, we'll have substantial information at that point about when it will drop, and it won't be that long after that. That's my prediction anyways, from everything that I know. So we got a little bit left, but it'll be here before you know it, you know, and it's desperately needed, in my opinion. Let's read this real quick. Game reveals are getting frustrating. Tired of teaser trailers that are more teaser than trailer. I'll elaborate on this. Tired of trailers that are more cinematic than gameplay. And let me be very clear here. I think developers are getting worse and worse and worse about telling us that trailers are gameplay, because it does show what you will see in a game, when most of what you see isn't actually what you'll be doing with controlling the actual gameplay. It's more like the lines are getting blurred between how often when you're playing these more modern AAA-esque titles that you are engaged in action scenarios where you're absolutely engaged in handling everything that's happening, and then it'll slide off into like a bit of a cinematic kind of scenario where you might have to do a button press or two, right? And so it's kind of really blurring the lines of what we should be considering gameplay and what we shouldn't be considering gameplay. Yeah. And I've seen it been happening a lot with, like, take for instance the new Hellblade trailer. Have you seen the new Hellblade trailer that they tried to call gameplay? No. Hellblade 2, Hellblade's 2 latest trailer, they tried to call gameplay? No, I'm sorry. About the only gameplay I saw in that was maybe you holding a joystick and walking around. Everything else was cinematic, dude. There's no flipping way. And we've talked a little bit about this too, like something like Fable, right? Was there some gameplay in there? There was some gameplay in there. But there was a lot of it that was also not gameplay. I just know that there was a good amount of it that was also not gameplay. But it's that like blurring of the lines of what they do with these more modern games of you're controlling everything and then all of a sudden you're not. And then you are and then you're not. And so what they show you is like not traditionally cinematic, but it's also not necessarily indicative of what your gameplay experience will be. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, we used to get trailers all the time that would be solely cinematic, and you knew that none of it was gameplay, and you're like, oh, that's just cinematics, dude. That doesn't tell me anything. Now it's a little bit more like hard to tell, and you can tell that some of it is gameplay, but you can't tell if other parts are or aren't, and you can tell that some parts definitely aren't. And it's hard to pick out how much of that is really going to be a telltale sign of what you're going to be getting out of the gameplay itself. That's what's frustrating me about trailers nowadays. And I don't know if that's exactly what they're going to be hitting on here, but I felt like it was important to kind of detail out why I felt like it was good to pick this article out, because I've noticed this happening more and more and more in the industry, where it feels like these developers are going, well, we can still call that gameplay, even though it's really not. And I'm not a fan of that. Video games have a well-established marketing cycle. A key part is releasing a teaser. Process for this can often be quite involved, with some publishers creating a breadcrumb trail of clues and mysteries to solve before eventually giving up the goods. While this is undoubtedly a great way to build anticipation and hype, what happens when the goods aren't that great? On this episode of Spot On, Tam is joined by guest host Jeff Grubb to talk about the frustrations that can arise from teasers, particularly when they provide very few meaningful updates on high-profile games and still far from ready. Also talk about the impact that a lack of satisfying information on games can have on people outside the developer and publishing teams, particularly as big events such as the Game Awards approach. Yeah, Ferret. Yeah, buddy. No worries. So, I'm not gonna, this is obviously their, spot on podcast stuff, vodcast. But it does bring up something that we've talked about a bit here, and I'll link this for you guys. If you guys want to watch this or whatever, then that's cool. Check it out. I think it's a viable topic to talk about for the industry, because it's getting tougher to tell, and a big part of that is because you remember back in the day. Think about back in take the evolution of remember when PlayStation first came out? Take PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 days. That era, not just that console specifically, but that era of gaming, okay? When you would play a game, it was obvious when you would be playing the game as opposed to watching a cinematic, right? Because the graphics were significantly different. You couldn't play the game in the graphical fidelity that they could do cinematics, right? And nowadays, it's almost indifferent. You can't really tell. It's negligible. Like, a lot of times, the gameplay that you're doing is the same graphical fidelity as, the cinematics are, right? So, it's hard to tell, and we all know this, right? Developers are going to show you what they want to show you. Nobody should be ignorant to that fact. Developers, through their development process, are always going to show you what they want to show you to hype you up. You should always have that in the back of your mind. How many times have we had banger-ass trailers come out for games and then been severely disappointed by the product itself? So you have to, I think, always be a little bit weary of what developers are trying to get you hyped about. They want to show you what they want you to see. They're going to show you what they want you to see. Yeah? But nowadays, as opposed to those days I was talking about in our gaming history, it's so much harder to tell, because the games look so good, even in the action sequences that we're controlling everything of. Granted, there's still quite often a difference, but if you look at what games are being developed as now in the current engines and stuff, the modern engines, it is lifelike. And the cinematics are lifelike too. So quite often, it's much harder to tell nowadays the difference between going from a gameplay sequence to a cinematic sequence than it ever was before. So it's easier for a developer to kind of pull the wool over our eyes a little bit, if you will, and go, oh yeah, this is all gameplay, right? Which is why I have a hard time buying it a lot. Especially when we see something like Hellblade 2 the latest Hellblade 2 trailer. They're like, yeah, this is all gameplay. It did not look like gameplay. It looked like cinematics almost entirely. It was like, why? Why did you call this gameplay? This is weird. You know? So I don't know. I think that's something that people need to keep in mind. You know? To all the developers out there, and I'm talking about companies, right? To all the developers and publishers out there that actually, do us a solid and show us significant gameplay in the trailers before the games drop and show us exactly what the game's going to be like, thank you. That's great. We love that, right? But we know that not all developers and publishers are doing that for us. Yeah. So it's hard to pick out quite often because we've been duped so many times by this process. So it's one of those things that I think is important to talk about because the hype machine gets built up and we've been duped by it so many times, It's just important to be careful. Samsung Gaming Hub now lets you enjoy games with no sign-in or subscription. So Samsung and cloud gaming platform Blacknut have partnered to introduce a new way for Gaming Hub users to experience gaming on their Samsung smart TVs. Companies are launching the free game pilot feature to allow Hub users to try out the Blacknut service before they can decide if it's worth diving deeper into cloud gaming. Yeah, most have probably heard, even here in our community through the news segments and stuff, how Gaming Hub works. But if you're new to it, the service is available on select Samsung TVs in key markets. Most TVs for Samsung from 2021 and up till recent are incorporating it now. It's an app that integrates different cloud-based gaming platforms, including Game Pass, Luna, GeForce Now, AntStream, Utomic, and Blacknut. It enables gaming on TVs without any other hardware at all. No consoles, no PCs, nothing like that. You just need peripheral devices, right? You just have to have some kind of peripheral device, controller or whatever, to play with. Attach it to your TV, load up Gaming Hub from Samsung, boom, you're rocking. Gaming Hub is free, but the cloud gaming services it hosts are subscription-based, obviously, right? Each has its own business model and fees. Blacknut is now making it easier for Gaming Hub users to test its service through the free game pilot feature, which will offer free access to 11 games for the next 3 months. So Gaming Hub, Samsung Gaming Hub, in partnership with Blacknut, will allow users to try the service for free for 3 months without asking for a subscription or even a sign-in. The 11 games available for free are Overcooked 2, Asphalt 9 Legends, For the King, Arise, A Simple Story, Galazzo Soccer League, Despicable Me Minion Rush, I Am Fish, WRC 9 The Official Game, Cat Quest, Moving Out, and Pile Up Box by Box. So that's about what you need to know. If you need more information, I will link this for you, okay? Dude, speaking of Netflix, I will promote this again today. There is a flippin' show on Netflix that I am so enamored by. This show on Netflix is amazing. Blue-Eyed Samurai. The animation is incredible. The music's fantastic. The writing is phenomenal. It is adult. Okay? Set in Japan's Edo period, 17th century, mixed race swordmaster Mizo is on a quest for vengeance. A lot of this has to do with this right here being so Mizu is a mixed race, Caucasian or Anglo-Saxon and Japanese individual, and that is taboo, unacceptable. Almost everybody considers Mizu to be a monstrosity. You know what I mean? Unacceptable in their culture at this time period. And by the way, Mizu is a lady. and a badass lady. So, I mean, a badass. It is a cool show, dude. I cannot recommend this enough. I started watching it. I just saw it come up around this date. It just came up. It's on Netflix around the 3rd of November. And I saw it and I was like, check this out, dude. And it is great. But be prepared, it is adult. It does show some like it is adult. It's lots of blood. It's got nudity. You know what I mean? But it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's so flippin' good. They probably have it rated as mature. I don't see any way they could not have it rated as mature. But dude, I cannot recommend this enough. It blew me away. It really did. And what's great is that I don't want to like spoil anything, but there's no way there's not going to be more seasons of this. So it's like eight episodes, I think. 8 episodes. 8 episodes. And they're not short episodes either. They're like, I think about an hour long each, maybe roughly. And there's no way there's not going to be more seasons of this. There has to be. As far as like, if they want to, because the story's not over. I'm so jacked, dude. Such a cool flipping show. I don't often get like wrapped up in a show like that, and I'm just, God, it's so flipping good, dude. So good. So, dude, yeah. Let me know what you think. Anybody that watches it, let me know what you think. It's so good, dude. So we all know that like Epic's in the middle of this like court case with Google right now, right? They've already taken Apple to court a number of times over, monetization on the platform and stuff like that, and Epic doesn't like it. Now they're doing it to Google. Google apparently proposed a $147 million settlement to Epic Games at some point to launch Fortnite on the Play Store. In the past couple of years, Epic started a significant lawsuit saga with Apple, like I said, and not only. In 2020, the game company filed its first lawsuit against Google. This week, a second legal skirmish has kicked off with Epic Games. See, I thought they had one previously with Google, but with Epic Games alleging that Google is shelling out substantial sums to big developers, enticing them to keep their apps on the Play Store. Yeah, so if you didn't hear this previously when we covered this, there were a lot of other app developers and companies that were supposed to be partaking in this lawsuit with Epic. And then apparently Google settled out of court with them. Devil is a part-timer. I haven't heard of that one. I haven't put it in suggestions yet. True. No, I haven't. Sorry. I keep thinking about it during the news and then I forget later on. But dude, I need to. But Devil is a part-timer is hilarious. I'll have to check that out. Cool. Yeah. What up, Pinky? So apparently now Epic is like kind of standing alone in this lawsuit, whereas they did have some collaborators at one point, but they got bought out, right? According to court revelations reported by The Verge, Google has confirmed that it proposed a $147 million deal to Epic to launch Fortnite on the Android Google Play Store. Purnima Koshikar, Google's VP of Play Partnership, stated that the deal approved and presented to Epic was rejected by the gaming company. The proposed deal involved the gradual dismemberment of funds over 3 years, concluding in 2021 as incremental support for the game's publisher. The underlying motive for this deal, as reported, was Google's attempt to prevent a potential trend of popular apps bypassing the official Android store and, in turn, avoiding Google's in-app purchasing fees. Epic Games versus Google. Epic has been vocal about its discontent with the 30% revenue cut imposed by Google on Play Store transactions, which led Epic to take an unconventional route, releasing Fortnite for Android independently and offering the game's download file directly on its website. While Fortnite eventually landed on the Google Play Store in April of 2020, Epic persisted in distributing it independently, circumventing Google's 30% cut on in-app purchases. Yeah. This goes in, we've read a lot of this, dude. It's just a lot of what we've covered already. If you want to read the rest of it, go for it. But we'll see how this pans out. I don't think it's going to pan out good for Epic, to be honest. You know, they've lost multiple times already against Google and Apple, so we'll see. PlayStation just killed off a huge number of games. Yo, playing that Talos Principle, huh? Word up. How's it going? And what might be relieving news to many, Sony is reevaluating its focus on live service games, quietly cutting 6 titles from its upcoming release schedule. We talked about that yesterday. But that's all they're talking about. We talked about this yesterday. They had roughly 12 games in development for live service. They've got 6 of them they're still pushing forward with. The other 6 are either severely scaled back, delayed, or just not happening. Talked about it yesterday. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 draws harsh reviews after rushed development. I like that I can't actually close this. That's great. Latest entry in Activision Blizzard's popular Call of Duty video game series was made in half the time of previous iterations, a fact that may be contributing to a spat of bad reviews. According to people familiar with the development process, critics have panned the game, the first big release since Microsoft closed its $69 billion acquisition of Activision last month, saying the storyline feels rushed. Most Call of Duty games are developed in around 3 years. The bulk of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, which comes out today, was made in less than a year and a half, said the people who asked to not be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. The abridged production schedule proved stressful for the development team, they said. Process was hurried because this year's game was conceived to fill a gap in the release schedule following the delay of another Call of Duty title previously planned for this year. MW3 was originally pitched to staff at Foster City, California-based developer Sledgehammer as an expansion to last year's title, but it morphed into a full sequel during development, Bloomberg earlier reported. Activision spokesman or spokesperson denied that MW3 was originally an expansion, said it was conceived as a premium game from the start, but more than a dozen current and former Call of Duty developers said that conflicts with what they were told at the time. That conflicts with what they were told at the time. Some of the employees said the plan was left ambiguous during the first few months of development, while others said they were directly told it was an expansion. All said they were under the impression it was an expansion until much later in the process. Some staff at Sledgehammer who had to work nights and weekends to finish the game said they felt betrayed by the company because they were promised they wouldn't have to go through another shortened timeline after the release of their previous game, Call of Duty Vanguard, which was made under a similarly constrained development cycle. The game's story has received bleak reviews from the largest gaming outlets. Mediocre stated 1 of 5 out of 10. Story, quote, doesn't do much worth seeing. It's like 5 hours long. It's nothing really. Another reviewer gave it a 4 out of 10. Wrote the game feels hastily put together. And adding that if this is the quality we've come to expect from Call of Duty campaigns, maybe it's for the best if a year, excuse me, or two is taken to reset and raise this low bar back to the heights of old. Crunch culture, dude. Yo, Cappy, what's up? What up, friendo? Yo, Michaela, how you doing, friend? Yo, I saw you hit me up in Discord. I just haven't had time to read it or reply really yet because I've been in the middle of the news. I'll try to get back to you here in just a bit. Yeah. Oh, feeling better. Good, Cappy. Glad to hear it. Love to hear it. Awesome. Cappy, I DM'd you, by the way, if you didn't see it. Just some info. Look, man, I mean, this is, I talked about this before. This is like the thing we hate to see, right? We hate to see the rush on games. Also the just popping them out like candy. You know, whether it be Assassin's Creed or Pokemon or, you know, something like Call of Duty. It's weird to watch games be pumped out like this and not have any kind of focus on quality over quantity, you know? And it shows. It shows, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah. I just, wanted to give you a little bit of an explanation there. Roblox CEO hints at adding NFTs to gaming platform. Sorry. NFTs are disgusting right now. I talked about this yesterday. I've talked about it a lot. I can see a future gaming industry and world where it's a mutually beneficial incorporation where us as gamers can benefit from what NFTs actually are, as well as developers. This is not the time, though. This isn't even really worth reading, dude. Yeah, I agree. Look, man, I mean, whether you want to talk about NFTs, blockchaining, Web3, crypto economy games, the metaverse, whatever, dude. All these like trendy things that these developers have come up with in the gaming industry over the past couple of years to try and bait people into these keywords, these trend words to bait people into basically scummy greed mechanics and stuff. I recommend staying away from it. And again, this is the thing. If it's going to be something mutually beneficial, if we're going to get a benefit from it as well as the developer benefits from it, awesome. But that's not what this is right now, right? Yeah, dude, Roblox is sketchy, dude. Michaela, I will take a Midnight Club game for sure. I loved Midnight Club back in the day. But we all know that Rockstar doesn't give a crap about anything but GTA. We've already talked about that today. Roblox is it's a sketchy environment. For a platform that focuses so much on a younger audience, they do a terrible job themselves, really, at preventing their audience from being exposed to bad content. Yeah. Yeah, rock puke, dude. Yeah. Yeah, it's gross. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to see the thing with the there's this whole potential of what NFTs could be. You know, a non-fungible token tied to you as your blockchain being a unique basically a unique number for you as a game player, and you have these NFTs tied to you, and it could be, cosmetics, it could be actual assets in a game, like a car that's pretty lucrative and sought after. It could, be utilized in different gaming different games, different universes and stuff, but it takes a much more fleshed out gaming world, gaming universe. It would take a lot of these universes being meshed together where you could take that car from like Grand Theft Auto, into Gran Turismo, into Cyberpunk, and you could use it all over the place so you can kind of flex on people. You know what I mean? And be like, look what I got, noobs. You know what I mean? And then as it becomes more and more sought after, you can go, well, maybe now's the time to dump it off and trade somebody for something else I want, or to sell it or whatever. And the developer makes a portion of that sell, and you come out on top as well, right? But that's not the way this works right now. It's just something developers are trying to incorporate to make money off people. We don't get any benefit from this NFT crap right now. So my advice is to stay away from it, man. And we're a ways away from that. The kind of concept I'm talking about is something I can see in like the distant future, man. We are not close to that right now. And until we're in these areas of being able to have it developed in a way that's mutually beneficial, I just highly recommend people stay away from it. There's just been too much schemazzing going on with it, man. Well, here's some more Call of Duty stuff. Good news, terrible news. You don't have to launch Modern Warfare 2 to launch Modern Warfare 3 because why should you? It's a different game. What is going on with these developers, dude? But now you can't launch Warzone without first launching Modern Warfare 3. What? Even if you don't own Modern Warfare 3, the game is now your Call of Duty homepage. You know why? Because they want to slap you in the face with the game every single time you start up any other Call of Duty game and go, buy this, buy this, buy our new game, buy our new crappy game that sucks, buy our new game that sucks, buy our new game that sucks. That's why. That's exactly why. Activision's rollout of the new Call of Duty HQ launcher has been anything but elegant. The HQ, which is really just a rebranded front end for a single Call of Duty game, is the only way to launch the new Modern Warfare 3, and until yesterday, that process was a real slog. To play Modern Warfare 3, you had to first launch the Call of Duty headquarters, then click Modern Warfare 3, then return to the desktop, then wait for the actual game you wanted to play to boot. Great job, Activision Blizzard. You flipping trolls. I mean, what do you expect from a company that can't even do math? You know what I mean? Bro, I'm never going to let them down. I'm never going to let them live that down, dude. That flipping Diablo trailer, that Diablo 4 trailer with the jacked up math, I'll never let them live that down. Now, that's now been reversed by a patch deployed on the eve of Modern Warfare 3's full release. Launching Call of Duty now takes you to the front end of Modern Warfare 3, whether you actually own it or not. And switching over to last year's MW2 or Warzone now requires that you return to the desktop first. Essentially, MW3 is now the homepage of Call of Duty, making the launch process easy for folks making the leap to the new game, but simultaneously much worse for the hundreds of thousands of people who prefer to stick with Warzone, DMZ, or MW2. No matter what mindset I try to place myself in, the decision is just mind-boggling. I can't think of another instance in the history of video games where you've been required to launch a different game you may not own or want in order to get to a game you've owned for a year. It essentially takes twice as long to launch Warzone on PC than it did last week. And yet Activision claims that HQ makes our lives easier. I'm guessing they mean that as makes our lives easier as the game player. Call of Duty. There you go, Cash. I like it, dude. What's up, man? Call of Duty HQ was developed to bring players benefits. This is a quote. Like carry forward, easier file size management, and more seamless switching between Call of Duty Warzone and the latest annual release, the publisher wrote in a blog post this week. I was just going to start calling it that from now on. In a few specific scenarios, I suppose it's true. Deleting and installing modules of Call of Duty games is possible within the client now, and switching from Battle Royale to 6v6 multiplayer to DMZ is a faster process with a dedicated app switcher, but the post doesn't engage with the community's main criticism that it shouldn't be the only way to access your Call of Duty game. Activision says it'll continue, quote, fine-tuning Call of Duty HQ to optimize the player's experience with the Duty game. But it sounds like we're stuck with its awkward app switching for the foreseeable future. Conditions should improve for Warzone players in the next month or so. The post mentions that players will be able to seamlessly switch between Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone content starting in Season 1, which I believe is Activision speaking for Warzone, will be on the same executable as Modern Warfare 3 starting in Season 1. Judging by past years, I expect that will begin in December. Jesus Christ, dude. All the Dookie. Almost like Call of Duty is made by EA Sports. It's flippin' lame. That's right, dude. Okay, Cappy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, dude. I mean, I talk about it quite often. These companies like EA and Activision Blizzard, like, you know, they're up there on the same level for me. You know what I mean? Like, bro, they're gross, man. 2023 might be a banner year, but it's the year video games lost its soul. Is it? Holiday dinner to eat with a family? Oh, cool. It's been quite a year in video games. With a year so monumental, there's a significant number that gamers and those people less invested in the inner workings of the industry should take note of. 96, 96, we know what those are, right? 94, 93, 92, 92, 92, 91, 91. Just a sample of the tremendous video games from this year to receive glowing critical reception. At one point, the Game of the Year race was down to 2 thoroughbreds, yet every other week has delivered another to the starting gate. This is the thing with EA. EA is so big. They do occasionally make a decent game. Like, honest, I've been playing Titanfall 2 right now with my son, and it's a good game. They're the publisher, but their subsidiary made it and everything, which was it's Respawn, right? Isn't that who it is? I think that's who it is, dude. Yeah, Respawn, yeah. Yeah, they turned it into Apex, exactly, dude. Well, Titanfall 1, then Titanfall 2, and then it became Apex, and Titanfall 2 is actually a really solid game. And I have a thing for mech games anyways, but it's kind of funny going from playing. I never played Titanfall until after I had played Apex, and I liked Apex. I like Apex. This is the thing about EA. EA is so big. They have so many subsidiaries that it's inevitable that they'll occasionally have something shine, right? It's just inevitable. They'll occasionally get a diamond in the rough, right? OG Titanfall was okay. Yeah, Titanfall 2 is solid, dude. It's really good. I like it. And the reason I started playing it again was because we read a few months ago that the multiplayer servers got brought back into, like modern times, and a lot of people started playing it again, and the game was on sale for like $3 on Steam. So I bought a few copies of it for here in the household, and we started playing it. We've been having a good time with it, dude. $3. It's a good time. We've been having fun with it. And dude, the multiplayer is great. There's like tens of thousands of people playing it right now, so it's been a good time. But that's the thing with EA. They're so big, it's inevitable. They occasionally get a banger, right? Occasionally. But most of their games are really forgettable, if not terrible. Mediocre to forgettable, right? Most of their games are. But occasionally they'll have a banger. It's just inevitable. Their umbrella is so flippin' big, dude. They have so much real estate they cover for game releases and everything. It's just inevitable. Yeah, TF2, dude, is a good time. It's fun, bro. I like it. It's a cool experience. The mechs feel great in it too, dude. They feel really good. Back to this though. Then there's the most damning number of them all, 6,000. An estimated 6,000 people have suffered the mass layoffs, redundancies, and even consolidation that has hit the tech and gaming sector so very hard this year. We just read 2 more articles this morning about more layoffs from Warframe's developer as well as Unity, right? There are no mechs in TF2, though. Depends on the TF2, I guess, right? Like, wait, what is he talking about? So 6,000 of the very people who've had a hand in so many of these tentpole releases that are collectively seeing 2023 held as one of the greatest 12-month stretches for video game releases ever. And the divisions that these people work in are all encompassing art, audio, design, writing, public relations. The list really goes on and on. The thing that often gets lost in translation is that every one of the 6,000 is someone who had been living out their dream job. For them, getting to work in video games was the tip of the spear, the pointy end of a career path that sadly has seen no security or longevity. And as we've witnessed throughout the very public redundancies at Bungie, even those with tenure and profound contribution all over their resume, such as Michael Salvatore, are not safe. Yep. I'm not going to read the entire rest of this thing, but yeah, we hit on this every day. And we've talked about both sides of this article, okay? We've talked about both sides of this article. Virtually every single day, dude, we get into these discussions. It's about, I'll link it so you guys can read it. But this has been an incredible year for releases, gaming releases. Have we also still had our share of, unfortunately, developers feeling like it's okay to release games that aren't ready to be released? Unfinished products? Yep, absolutely. Which feels bad. That trend has to stop. Developers should not feel comfortable releasing games that are not finished. Patching is not something that is acceptable to use to finish your games. Patching is something that is useful as a tool and a utility to fix unforeseen issues and to add additional content to your products. That's it. This notion that it's okay for companies to release their products half-baked, half-finished, and that it's acceptable, it's okay, and that, well, we'll just finish it up after we release it. That's balls. Trash. And it should never happen like that. But it continues to. And I think the mindset, it has to start with, like, obviously us as the consumer and going, if a company does that, you don't support them. We don't have regulatory agencies and committees that hold these developers responsible, give them consequences for doing this kind of crap to us, of releasing broken ass products, and having us pay full price for them. We're the only ones that can change this process. It's gotten so far that we've seen Colossal Order come out with a statement about City Skylines 2 before the game even released, going, yo, we know the game's not ready. We know the game's not finished, but we're going to release it anyways. That's how comfortable developers have gotten in this industry. That is terrible news for us. That does not bode well for us moving forward. That's bad news. But it has been very incredible to see. We haven't seen a year like this with the amount of bangers, dude, in a long time. It's been phenomenal. Really crazy. And on that front, it's been kind of wild. You know what I mean? We've seen a lot of terrible ones, and then we've seen more. Look at all those 90s up there. Dude, this isn't even taking, look, I say this all the time. Anything that hits the 90s across like a critically reviewed site or anything, you know, consensus wise is just unforgettable and really usually going to be something that is industry defining moving forward for us, right? Anything that's in the 80s is still an unforgettable, usually a really, really, you know, like amazing experience, especially, you know, mid to high 80s is still encroaching upon what a lot of these low 90s are, in that just phenomenal experience, unforgettable, lifelong kind of, you know, things you'll remember about these experiences you dive into for gaming and stuff. And dude, there have been a ton of, they're only talking about the 90s. There have been a lot of 80s this year too. You know, it's pretty nuts. But also, every single day we do the news, every single day, more people are losing their jobs. More people. And it can be attributed to different things, I think. Part of it is finally, oh, nice, Pinky. All right, dude. You know, I talked about this earlier, but the pandemic, the gaming industry is one of the only industries that really, really benefited from the pandemic. The hardware side didn't, but the software side did. And it was still tough because there was a lot of, you know, having to work from home, having to figure out how to get people to be able to work on these projects while relocated to an out of office kind of workplace environment, things like that, right? It wasn't easy necessarily, but dude, everybody was playing video games. Everybody. So the gaming industry just went nuts, dude. Hardware was brutal, but the software side was bonkers. And so it seemed like everybody overhired. And it was inevitable that after the pandemic, things were going to come back down to the norm, right? And here we are. So an amount of these firings, I think, have to be attributed to a little bit of coming back to reality for what the industry was going to inevitably be coming back and hitting, right? And it still doesn't feel good. It still sucks. Then we've got other things like, you take a look at companies like Embracer and Epic. Big companies, even Microsoft. You know what I mean? Big companies that feels more like they might have had some really poor business strategies going on. More like they made some poor choices as far as, you know, figuring out where to push their chips in. And, you know, we just constantly got the same default standard, you know, stupid statement from all these companies, no definitive explanation about what went wrong and why they immediately resort to firing employees that got them to where they are at in the first place. And it feels terrible. It's never, you know, look, we did everything we could to try and circumvent the process of having to result to firing employees to save the company. It's never that. It's always, well, we're in a bad spot and we love our employees, but we gotta, you know, we gotta fire 800 of them. Nothing else we can do. Hands are tied, right? And it's just the same default. We never get any kind of like legitimate explanation. No definitive, you know, showing of what went wrong, where maybe CEOs, besides Bungie, we got a little bit from Bungie here recently. That was about it. But almost never is there, CEOs aren't getting their bonuses. CEOs are taking taking you know, some salary cuts to save jobs because we're trying to take care of our employees or anything like that. It's just, we've hit hard times. Start laying everybody off. And do I, absolutely know what's going on internally? No, I don't. But I wouldn't be coming to these assumptions if they would at least try to explain it a little bit better. If that's not the case, tell us it's not the case. Show us what happened. Show us what you've done to try and not resort to something like that in the first place. We don't ever get that, right? I haven't linked this in a bit, but I want to show this. This is a great flipping article. Basically, it's like a parody. It's really, really good. An author by the name of Mike Drucker wrote this, and I touched on it probably about a month ago. And it's basically parodying the same stupid statements we get all the time from these companies about, oh well, we love our employees and we love our customer and we would never want to do this, and it's, take a look at it. It's pretty good. I read it in a pretty sarcastic manner because it works so well, but it is it's unfortunate, man. And I'm literally serious. Every day we do the news, it's a new studio firing employees or getting crushed by a parent company, or I mean, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. It's tough to see. It's tough to watch, and for all those people out there that are affected by this, losing a gig, I mean, obviously, heart and thoughts go out to those people. This isn't one of those, like, obviously, it's not a situation of people under some kind of performance review process and going, well, hey, you're not hitting your marks. It's just like, well, we're not doing too good because we made some bad business decisions, so get wrecked is the way most of it comes off. And I just hope that for these people that find themselves in these positions, that they find something quickly, they find something better and more fulfilling for them moving forward than what they had before. It's a dire situation for people when you lose your job. Quite often, for people when they lose their jobs, it's it can be very bad for your mental health. It's stressful. It's rough, and I don't know. I hope the people affected by this have an easy time transitioning into something new, and it's a better experience for them moving forward. It's a rough thing to see, dude, every day. Last thing I have for the day, guys, and Pinky, we gotta have a conversation here, bro. We need to have a conversation as a community about this, because I didn't know this was happening today. But the Golden Joystick Awards are happening today in roughly an hour. I didn't know this until I pulled up this article this morning. I hadn't heard about this at all. Obviously, I know the Game Awards are popping off at the beginning of the second week next month, but I didn't know the Golden Joystick Awards were happening today. And I kind of want to watch it, and I need to know what you guys are feeling about watching this as well. Look, man, I am jonesing out for BG3. Okay. I am loving Baldur's Gate 3, and I cannot wait to play more of it every single day. But this seems like kind of an important thing, too, that I want to kind of gauge the community about how much interest you have in either watching this or us playing Baldur's Gate 3 and not watching this. I mean, we would still get Baldur's Gate 3 in today, I'm sure. But it would be more like half a day of BG3, Yo, what's up, Cappy? So here's the deal. The Golden Joystick Awards are returning for yet another year, with the 41st annual show set to air on 10 November 2023. That's today. As in past years, the show will be a celebration of the best games of the year across multiple categories, as voted on by the gaming public. Okay, Pinky. Cool. Do both? That's kind of what I was thinking too, guys. This year's show seems set to be a blockbuster. Appearances from a range of familiar video game faces: Troy Baker, Manon Gage, Maggie Robertson, Ben Starr, Yuri Lowenthal, Stephanie is that Houston? I don't know. I might have butchered that. Samantha Bert and Neil Newbon. Joining them will be Elvira Bjorkman and Nicholas Hjertberg from Two Feathers, and Gosia Metrega, executive producer of The Witcher at CD Projekt Red, as well as Amelia Tyler, the narrator of Baldur's Gate 3. Nice. Yeah, so obviously nominees for this year's show are all pretty stellar. Strong competition between them. Baldur's Gate 3, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom both have nominations in 5 unique categories, with Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Starfield, Resident Evil 4, Diablo 4, and Final Fantasy, what is that? 16, yeah, also being nominated amongst the pack. Regardless of who wins, Golden Joystick Awards should be worth tuning in for, with a range of deserving games represented and plenty of guest spots for the talented folks who brought them to life. So it pops off, dude, in the U.S. at 8 Pacific. That's 10 o'clock or 11 Eastern, which is 10 o'clock our time, okay? That's like an hour from now, right? So this was kind of, so they've got all the categories: best audio, storytelling, game community, game expansion, gaming hardware, indie game, multiplayer game, visual design, game of the year, Nintendo game of the year, PC game of the year, PlayStation game of the year, Xbox game of the year, still playing award, studio of the year, best game trailer, most wanted game, best VR game, best lead performer, best supporting performer, ultimate game of the year. They've got a lot, dude, you know? So, oh yeah, we always need our daily dose of the pinky. You know what I'm saying? Of the pinky. So, but yeah, I think that, I mean, again, I would have prepared everybody for this had I known that this was popping off today. But dude, I hadn't seen anything about this until today. So, what I'm thinking is, we can just kind of segue out of the news here. We will do what we normally do and taking a break, because normally we segue out of the news, right? We take our break as we get ready to do gaming, but we'll take a break. We'll get ready. That'll give us a little bit of extra time before the Joystick Awards start. They'll probably have some like pre-show stuff that we can turn on, and we can just kind of talk about games and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? And then after the awards are done, then we'll get a little bit of BG3 in this afternoon. Does that sound like a plan? Everybody cool with that? Get some award show stuff in, and then a little bit of gameplay this afternoon too. Since Pinky's got Talos Principle 2, he's kind of playing right now anyway, so he's not going to be at a full loss. You know, he's not just going to be like waiting around. So it feels like that might be kind of the thing to do for me, you know, for us, I guess. Yeah. Let's plan on doing that. So we'll wrap this up. We'll take our break, and then we'll start getting ready for the the Golden Joystick Awards, baby. That'll be cool. Yeah, Ferret? All right. Solid. Cool. Sounds like a deal, guys. Let me turn on some tunes, and then I'll kind of segue us out of here so we can get us a break going and get ready for the Golden Joystick Awards then. You guys rock, dude. Happy flipping Friday, man. It's Friday. You all made it. Congratulations. This is what we work for, right? It's the beginning of the weekend, baby. Feels good. So I hope you guys have had a great day so far, whatever time it is for you. We're going to have a great rest of the day watching the Golden Joystick Awards and then playing a little bit more Baldur's Gate 3 this afternoon with our buddy, my name is Pinky. If anybody is hanging out, you're not too familiar with what we do, man, this is our jam. I'm live 6 days a week. No Wednesdays. Wednesdays are my day off to work on live stuff and behind the scenes stuff. But if you're digging kind of what you've been seeing so far, then you know, we've got all the previous video gaming news segments, most of the playthroughs that we've done here in the channel, as well as funny clips and highlights. All that stuff's on the Twitch channel, the YouTube channel, which you can find links in here in the Twitch channel. Both pages have links to the other one and everything. You can find everything you need there. And this is the way we always started off, 6 days a week. We start off at roughly 6 a.m. CST, CDT. We always kick it off with video gaming news, trying to stay current with what's going on in the industry. And then we segue into, usually it would be gameplay for the rest of the day, but sometimes we do special events like we're going to do for today, which is watching some award show stuff and then do gaming. So that's how this always pops off for us, and that's what we're about to do now. So if you're a cool peep, dude, you're about spreading good vibes, having a good time, enjoying video games, you know, being a welcoming, inclusive individual, and just hanging out and having fun, man, then you probably belong here with us and would have a good time hanging out here with all the other amazing individuals that make up our community. So I don't know. I would just prompt you to come hang out with us and see what's up with us here, man, because we're always looking for more cool people to be a part of what we do. So other than that, man, just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. I'm going to run us a little bit of an outro here, and then I'll get us ready for the joystick awards. All right? Stream's not going down. Be right back.